We are learning more about what led up to a shooting involving police at Minneapolis City Hall.
Happened at the police station yesterday afternoon. Police say a man they were interviewing was left alone in an office when he started to harm himself with a knife. Officers responded and shortly after that opened fire. Jeff Wagner reports.
Police squad cars outside City Hall are common, but not to the magnitude in downtown Minneapolis Monday night. Inside the building, crime scene tape blocked off the stairs and elevators leading up to police headquarters, specifically the department's investigative unit, where an officer-involved shooting happened inside an interview room.
A person investigators were interviewing was left alone in an interview room, and he began injuring himself with an edged weapon.
Sources tell WCCO the weapon was a concealed knife.
After attempting to subdue the adult male subject, officers discharged their weapons.
Sources also told WCCO the man lunged at officers before he was shot. He was then taken to HCMC. Police say the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension has taken over the investigation. BCA agents could be seen working behind the door into MPD's investigative unit.
This interview room where this happened has a video recording system. Any and all evidence will be handed over to the BCA.
The one specific aspect Chief Madera Arredondo says his department plans to investigate is how the man made it into the police department with a weapon.
So that is something that we'll look into, certainly the BCA, as they conduct their investigation. At this point in time, I don't have information on that.
Jeff Wagner, WCCO 4 News.
Police have not said what condition the man is at the hospital or his exact injuries. We did ask police about their security protocols when it comes to bringing somebody in for an interview, and they referred us to City Hall's security team. We have not yet heard back.
At least 3 people are dead after an Amtrak train derailed in Washington state. The train was making the inaugural run of a new express line between Seattle and Portland, Oregon. 13 of its 14 cars left the tracks. Some careened off the overpass and onto a busy Interstate 5. The 3 people killed were riding in the train. Dozens more were injured. No one in the vehicles on the interstate were killed. Federal investigators say the train was traveling 80 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. Officials say it's unclear if speed was the cause and do say preliminary signs indicated the train may have hit something on the track.
Congressional Republicans are set to make good on their promise to pass a tax overhaul bill by the end of the year. The House expected to vote on it today. The Senate could take the measure up as soon as tonight. Their goal is to have it on the president's desk to sign by the end of the week. Coming up at 5:30 this morning, we have a breakdown of a new nonpartisan analysis of the bill with reaction from both Democrats and Republicans. The U of M athletic department sent an email to season ticket holders regarding the tax bill. It said one of the effects of the bill would be removing the ability for taxpayers to write off part of the cost of their tickets. Athletic Director Mark Hoyle said scholarship seating donations accounted for more than $11 million last year. That's 10% of the department's operating budget. Said even if the tax benefits are removed, support is critical.
Twin Cities bus drivers approve a new contract. It means no strike during the Super Bowl. The new 3-year contract raises wages 2.5%. It also begins to address the union's concerns for driver safety, starting by installing protective shields in 21 buses. Drivers, light rail operators, and mechanics had threatened to walk off the job in February when the Super Bowl comes to town. Well, one new problem for Super Bowl organizers, the home team.
It's a good problem.
This is a really good problem.
It's still a problem. We are now just 47 days away from the game. Getting ready for this thing has been years in the making, and oddly enough, with the Vikings now in the playoffs, the more games they win means less time to get U.S. Bank Stadium ready. Angela Davis reports.
This is a good challenge. It's not a problem, it's a challenge, and we will gladly take it.
While the Vikings focus on what they need to do to win their next game.
It's caught by Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings.
Those in charge of U.S. Bank Stadium are focused on what could be a history-making game.
In 52 years of the Super Bowl, the home team has never played in the game. And so I think there is a sense of excitement about not only getting that close to the big game, but possibly having it in our own backyard.
A 5-week schedule to reconfigure the stadium to make room for the thousands of members of the media, as well as a stage for the halftime performance that can quickly be torn down could suddenly shift to 2 weeks. It would happen if the Vikings play through January.
It just means the same amount of work needs to get done in a more compressed amount of time. But we do have 51 years of executing these Super Bowls and a team that has done many of them, so hopefully we can get this all done.
As for ticket prices, some think if the Vikings are playing in their home stadium, it will drive up the price. That's because there will likely be a higher than usual demand by fans who can drive to the Super Bowl rather than fly.
It's never happened, so there's no precedent to know how it would affect things like prices. Already there's a ton of interest, so if you're interested in coming down to things like Super Bowl experience, buy your tickets now so you don't miss out.
Angela Davis, WCCO 4 News.
For most out-of-town visitors, they're going to come through MSP International Airport to get to the game.
Yeah, the Metropolitan Airports Commission met yesterday and heard how prepared the airport is to handle the huge crush. They expect around 50,000 passengers to arrive, all needing some form of ground transportation.
The ground transportation traffic is going to be so busy, whether it's buses and shuttles or limos or TNCs or taxis, they're all going to experience this large uptick in business.
Another challenge is handling the expected 1,100 private jets flying in. The airport only has enough parking for 275 of them. So other airports like Flying Cloud, Anoka County, and Holman Field are getting ready for a large number of arrivals. Stay with CCO on TV and on Facebook for continuing coverage of Super Bowl 52. Of course, a solution to that would just have the Vikings play. Then you have fewer people needing the airport.
You think so?
I think that's a solution for everything.
I suspect the corporate private jet crowd is still going to fly in, right?
Probably.
Yeah.